Hello there everybody, and welcome to this feature presentation on YouTube. I am King Mac, your hamburger pal. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to enjoy a hot fresh cheeseburger along with some delicious golden french fries, a tasty milkshake, and a nice soft drink. Also be sure to grab some hot buttery popcorn while you're at it as you enjoy this episode of TTBurger Game Reviews on YouTube.
You're back, eh? Back from more TTBurger Game Reviews, I see, eh? Well, you come to the right place because Halloween is still upon us, and I'm your guard host, Tony, bringing you more game reviews of survival horror, action Halloween, and more as the Halloween season continues. On episode 279, part 1 of one part. Before I get started, I want to shout out to everyone who supported this channel. You guys are great. If your favorite channel was not be big today, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all. And today we're going to take a look at the franchise that started the survival horror genre, Alone in the Dark. Now, when it comes to Alone in the Dark, I did not play a lot of Alone in the Dark games, especially the original trilogy. I was never a big fan of the original trilogy because I thought the gameplay was kind of frustrating and difficult at the same time. And I just wasn't a big fan of it. I played 3 games only of Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark, One Night Jack's Revenge, Alone in the Dark 2 on the PlayStation, Alone in the Dark New Nightmare, and that awful Alone in the Dark reboot in 2008, which sucked ass. And I'm only looking at one of the games today, because I only have one of them now. And before we start here, we need to go check on our friend Jackburger, all the way from San Francisco, California. See how he's doing there. Hey Jack, bro, you holding up better? You ready for some more horror theme action today?
Hey Tournament Man, I am ready, doing better. We got our money back from that ripoff Haunted House. Now Jacqueline and Little Jack are doing better, and we are trying to think of some new types of speed for dinner. We have a huge gathering coming up tomorrow, and the missus is thinking about what type to have and more.
You guys sure seem to love your get-togethers, that's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. We love the whole pumpkin family sitting around eating food, watching sports, and drinking beer. We love it. And for his son, he has friends come over, and they play video games in the basement, and they have their movies and more of a fun time this Saturday.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Speaking of Saturday, that's my birthday. I'll be 35 years old at 7 o'clock a.m.
Wow, dude, that's awesome. Happy birthday to you, buddy. Hope you have fun.
Thanks, Jack. Glad you're doing better. How about we get started here with the video? I know you guys gotta only have a little bit of time here.
Yeah, but I was about to say, we need to get started. I heard we're looking at an Alone in the Dark game today. What's we're looking at here?
You're right. Let's get started here with looking at Alone in the Dark, the new nightmare for the PlayStation, PC, Sega Dreamcast, and Game Boy Color. The PlayStation 2 version only released in Europe, and we did not get it, so look at this one. Got the PlayStation version released on June 18th, 2001, when the PlayStation 2 was out and ready. Alone in the Dark, the new nightmare is a game that you love or hate. People who loved it were not a fan of the first 3 games for the most part, or people who loved it hated the first 3 games, and blah blah blah. I was one of those people who loved it, mainly because I did not like the first 3 Alone in the Dark games. They were very hard to figure out, clunky gameplay, and confusing controls that were stiff and everything, and so many death traps. I could not get into the first 3 games, so that's just my opinion there. But Alone in the Dark, the new nightmare fixed a lot of the frustration that those 3 games had. It is not a perfect game, some problems exist here, but I do enjoy the atmosphere this game has, relying on your flashlight and your wits about you and your brain to help you survive. One feature this game has is the real-time lighting, so it's not very common in games to make it run at a decent frame rate. And honestly, this is really cool, making you feel alone in the dark. Alone in the Dark New Nightmare starts off with the franchise's central protagonist, Edward Carnby, as he encounters his best friend and partner, Charles Fisk, who has been murdered off the fictional Shadow Island in Massachusetts, that lead him to Frederick Johnson, who informs him of Fisk's search for the 3 ancient tablets that unlock incredible and dangerous power, which leads them on an investigation to recover the tablets before Fisk does. Along the way, Carnby is joined by Aline Cedric, a young university professor who joins Edward Carnby in search for the tablets and searching for Professor Obed Morton, who is believed to be her father. And crazy stuff happens when they arrive. There are monsters going nuts, the lights are going crazy, and Obeb is going insane, and everything is a mess, and now they must survive alone in the dark. You play as either Edward Carnby or Aline Cedric, where the gameplay is different between the 2 characters. As Edward Carnby, he'll spend his journey shooting the monsters while looking for clues, while Aline Cedric spends her journey looking for clues and solving puzzles and surviving. Both the characters are fun to play as, so whichever you feel like playing as, They're both fun for your liking. The game is on 2 discs full of content for you to enjoy. The story is really good. I think it's one of the best stories in the franchise. Sure, it may be confusing with some of the characters and stuff like that, but it's still really well done. I have to say, for a PlayStation game, the graphics look amazing, especially with the real-time lighting in the environments. I cannot say enough about this because back in the day, this was considered cutting edge for its time with the use of the flashlight and being able to turn on and off the lights, and this gets rid of the enemies for the time. The environments are pre-rendered like in Resident Evil and Parasite Eve, and Down Crisis and stuff, and look better with the real-time lighting. The character models look really detailed on par with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis and Down Crisis and Parasite Eve 2. They look great and animated really well for a PlayStation game. This is really cool. Sure, Fear Factor was a little better in the graphics department, but that does not mean the game is bad looking at all and stuff. The cutscenes look good, not the best due to lip syncing being delayed and such, and the in-game cutscenes are fine, it's just the pre-order cutscenes are the worst part of the graphics. The frame rate is decent, but the noticeable slowdowns at times, especially in the small corridor areas where there are a lot of enemies on screen, it does hitch up. Not sure how the PlayStation 2 version is since it was only released in Europe. Alone in the Dark New Nightmare has good sound, not the best sound, but is miles better than Alone in the Dark 2008 sound effects, that's for sure. That voice acting, dear lord, was terrible, especially with all that cussing and I don't have your stone and fuck you anyway. Yeah, that was terrible. But the New Nightmare has good sound. The voice acting is okay, not the best voice acting, but still okay. David Gassman and Sharon Mann as Edward Carnby and Aline Cedric sound fine. They do a good job as the 2 main characters. But the other actors just do not do as good of a job as these 2 actors do with their over-the-top accents where it's hard to hear what they're saying and when they talk, and sometimes they will not be talking loud enough as well. The music is pretty good, not have a problem with it. The guns sound good, the ambient sounds good too. Alone in the Dark New Nightmare plays good as a gameplay aspect. When Alone in the Dark New Nightmare was the first release, people were bitching and moaning saying, "Oh, it's a Resident Evil ripoff, not the original Alone in the Trilogy at all, and blah blah blah." Look, I know this game plays like Resident Evil, but keep in mind they want to try something different. For that time in the game, this is how survival horror games were like, and we were used to that stuff. Like I mentioned before, I did not like the original Alone in the Dark trilogy. The games were too confusing, too difficult, and they were not fun to play, and that's why I was not a fan of the Alone in the Dark trilogy and stuff like that. I was not a fan of Alone in the Dark with the Ryan Jack's Revenge because of this, and from the frustrating gameplay elements like that. Sure, the Alone in the Dark New Nightmare has issues, but does not deserve all the hate it gets just because it's similar to Resident Evil. Hell, people seem to have forgotten that Resident Evil was inspired by Alone in the Dark and made that genre better. Maybe Alone in the Dark New Nightmare was inspired by those games and wanted to make it better. Do you ever think about that? Well, we need to continue. In Alone in the Dark New Nightmare, I mentioned you have 2 characters to play as, Edward Carnby and Aline Cedric. This review, we are playing as Aline, as her gameplay is tougher due to the fact that she does not have a weapon to start off with and she must rely on her flashlight and her wits about her to survive. She finds weapons later on, though, but she's mainly solve puzzles more for her gameplay. You spend most of the time in this mansion on Shadow Island trying to find a way out to escape the island itself by finding keys, entering the correct code, reading diaries, going through mirrors, and more. The controls are similar to Resident Evil with some minor changes, like using the circle button turns your flashlight on and off, triangle is your inventory, L2 is your map, and R2 lets you use the radio to call Edward or Aline depending on the character you play as. Mirrors are key in Alone in the New Nightmare. It is not perfect though, it's a great game but not perfect. There are problems like the combat is not the best because you have to manually turn your arm to aim the weapon, costing you precious seconds where it could get you killed. The weapon's not very strong. The shotgun is the best, but it uses like 3 rounds and you run out of ammo fast for it. The revolver is weak, it takes so many shots to kill an enemy. The grenade launcher is strong, but it's hard to find ammo. In fact, you can run out of ammo very fast with nothing to defend yourself and you're screwed. It's easy to miss items in the dark rooms that are not lit. You have these saving charms of saving, but they're limited like the encrypt rooms. They're not the easiest to find, but the good thing is you can save anywhere you want. While the controls are fine, they're a little on the stiff side, and when there are enemies on screen, it's hard to run away from them into the next room because you press the button, it just locks onto the enemy. Both characters have the same ending, which is disappointing. You'd think they would change the endings a little bit to make more gameplay, to make it more fun to play as both characters. The voice setting could have been better. The pre-order cutscene is not very good. The PlayStation 2 version was never released in the West, which is a shame because we should have got it and stuff, but we didn't. There's only complaints I have about it though. Final thoughts: if you really like Alone in the Dark games, I recommend Alone in the Dark New Nightmare. I didn't like the original trilogy or Alone in the Dark 2008, but Alone in the Dark New Nightmare should definitely be worth picking up in your collection of straight like survival horror games. I give Alone in the Dark the New Nightmare an 8.5 out of 10. It's a great game, but despite the problems it has, it's definitely worth owning your collection for sure. Hey, Jackie, yeah, bro? What'd you think of Alone in the Dark the New Nightmare?
Now that was a good game. Not the best game, but still pretty good. Better than the original trilogy of Alone in the Dark. And the crappy 2008 reboot, which we know so much about.
Yeah, I am with you on that. I say this is the best Alone in the Dark game out there. And I know people are going to bash me for it, but I said my piece on this game.
Yeah, for sure, Tony. I am glad to see this game get some love after people bashed it for being like Resident Evil, but I need to know what is up next. Can you give me any hints at all for the next episode?
No, I'm sorry, Jack. I like to keep it as a surprise until I upload them. You know how I roll here.
That's understandable, Tony, but now I must go because we have to get ready for company tomorrow, and I know your birthday's coming up as well, so happy birthday, buddy, and enjoy your day. 35 years old until the next episode. See you then.
Thanks, Jack. You have a great time at your party as well, and I will see you in episode 280. It's all I gotta say, everybody. Peace out. Have a great day, and roar! Till I wash up on the sand or my heart finally stops.